Mr. Amin Idris, your portfolio as the Senior Director actually is infrastructure and energy. You're in the trenches. And NEPAD is very interesting because it sits at the intersection of strategy, project preparation, and implementation. You have so much experience when it comes. I'm sure that the infrastructure financing facility, you're going to help them with some of the design features as they go forward. Two questions for you, and then I'll go to a very special intervention from the floor. Now, for many years, strong political commitment, we're here at the AU, right? It's made on a continental level and on national levels, but delivery on the ground is often snail's pace. It's very slow. So where do projects get stuck, and how can institutions move faster from all the plans and the good intentions to implementation? You're not free yet to answer, because I want you to do a double-barreled one. I also want you to kind of like divine what kind of political leadership and institutional reform is most critical. What do we need to sustain momentum and build strong financial architecture for the long term to realize many of these things that we dream of?
Thank you very much. Why projects are slow in terms of implementation, whereas leaders, when they come to Addis Ababa or even at the country, they show strong political will, strong commitment. While there are three fundamental reasons, that's at least what we have identified from NEPAD. The first reason have a lot to do with what it takes to prepare quality projects. So having an idea of a project is good, but it's not enough. You need to invest resources, time, energy to prepare the project. But the problem here is that no one, not even governments, would agree to put the initial resources for the phase that we have called early project preparation. And that's exactly that's the step that we are trying to address together with AAMFI members, by the way, through the infrastructure funds, where we say we need to put money for project preparation. It means early project preparation phase. It doesn't cost much, but no one wants to put money in there. So we'll end up with projects that can't move because nobody could see where they are going to go. That's the first reason. And we are addressing that. So we are moving from just speech to action. Number two reason have a lot to do with the capacity within the countries. In fact, if you look at most of the countries that are capable of moving projects from concept to implementation fast, they have 2 or 3 institutions within their countries. Number one, or A, I will say, they have a kind of project management bureau at the government level. Take the case of Côte d'Ivoire with the ex-Direction Générale des Grands Travaux, which I think it has another name now. Côte d'Ivoire is a very good example. That's one. And then they have as well infrastructure funds or facility. That's number 2. And then number 3, for those countries that are capable of bringing private sector, they have as well kind of local financial market that is functioning. In opposite, most of the countries that are not capable of moving fast, there is this issue of capacity in terms of project management. There is this issue of the absence of local financial market. And then, of course, there is the issue of coordination among the governments. So countries' level of capacity is key, and we can't actually shy away from that. And then the third reason as well, especially for, I would say, for transregional, transnational projects, is because we may come with a project that we want to implement, let's say, between Chad and Cameroon, but Chad and Cameroon, though they are part of the same CEMAC region, Unfortunately, they don't apply necessarily the same fiscal policies. They are not harmonized at the level that it requires. So it takes time. And for a business to go, let's say if they want to invest there, they need, for instance, to have a very specific instrument, let's say special purpose vehicle. There should be a treaty that must be negotiated with the two countries, etc., etc. So when you put all those things together, you can move. And that's exactly the job that NEPAD tries to do. Let me just summarize by saying that we are investing from our side in what we call early project preparation. And in this early project preparation phase, this is where we try to address all the issues that I have outlined, and then we bring the stakeholders together, and then we pave the way for implementation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I'm going to go off the stage for a second. We have one or possibly two special interventions, and this one is indeed quite special. He is the former PM of Benin, and he's also the chair of Shelter Afrique, which is one of our African Club members. His Excellency Lionel Zinzu here for a special intervention. Give him a round of applause, please.
Merci beaucoup pour votre invitation à parler. Je me demande si on ne pourrait pas parler quelques minutes en français. Or maybe we could speak in Canadian, alternatively in French and English. No, thank you very much on behalf of Shelter Afrique to have invited us to speak. We are one of the most recent members of the AAMFI, and we are a modest institution, but we have an immense mission, which is to support affordable housing across the continent. Nous avons une mission très importante, bien que nous soyons une institution modeste, et c'est celle de faciliter le logement populaire, social, économique dans un continent qui ne sait pas encore financer convenablement le logement, alors que c'est l'activité de financement la plus importante dans les bilans des banques du monde entier, sauf le continent. So I'm so pleased to be together with our colleagues of AAMFI and our big brothers of AAMFI, and thank you, President Elombi, to be here, and all of your major institutions. We have very, very constructive relationships with all our partners, and the BADEA as well, as an observer of AAMFI, and the African Development Bank and African Ray, which are our shareholders. Donc nous sommes très reconnaissants parce que la révolution que nous voyons aujourd'hui en Afrique en matière de financement, c'est que l'Afrique va se financer de plus en plus elle-même. We are accountable of our development because we will receive less savings from the foreign fundings, and we will have to be more and more acting together, not competitively, but in a very strong alliance, and this was born today and in this house. So we are very pleased to say that in terms of job creation, housing is essential. In terms of well-being, related very tightly with water and sanitation, housing is absolutely key. We have a Shelter Afrique Development Bank reformed and in good shape to serve our 44 countries' shareholders, and we are very, very pleased to be part of a club which is one of the good news of the African financing industry. Merci.
Merci beaucoup. Former Prime Minister of Benin there. George, doctor, you see your friend over here. Yes, your friend. They're almost twins. They're so close. Can I let him say a few words, please? We have with us the famous Dr. Jeffrey Sachs, please.
Thank you very much. I really look forward to these meetings each year and to the great work that AAMFI is doing. I have 4 points, 1 minute only. First, Africa can grow at 10% per year GDP. That should be the aim. A massive acceleration. It's perfectly feasible. Second, it can only happen in an Africa-wide strategy. So you need to do everything Africa-wide, including the financial market regulation. It can't happen 55 times separately. It needs to be an Africa-wide regulatory system. Third, you need a clearer plan. The best plan that has been made in the world in the last quarter century was the Made in China 2025 plan. Africa needs a Made in Africa 2040 plan to identify the key sectors, how they're going to grow, what the infrastructure is, what the underlying training needs to be. You should do this and can do this. Fourth, who are Africa's real friends in supporting this? They're not my country, I'll tell you. My country doesn't know Africa, it knows cobalt, that's all. Africa's friends are in the Gulf region, the Arab region, and China. Pay attention, make strong partnerships. There's lots of financing, there's lots of technology, there's lots of investment. And with all respect to the Gulf, why are they promising trillions of dollars to the United States, which can't use it and doesn't need it, rather than trillions of dollars to Africa? Thank you very much.
Chief Jeffrey, we're giving you that chieftaincy title, I promise you. Thank you very much. And now I'm told we're out of time. So what I'm going to do is come back. I'm told I'm supposed to wrap up, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give you one minute, if you would like that. Just to have one, and I'm going to time you. Now, just as I was walking around, I noticed one of my friends over there, Charles Muruto, who is the head of Africa for Google, runs in the Google team here in Africa together with his colleagues. He whispered to me, they haven't talked about the power of technology. How does technology play a part in this? In your financing infrastructure, in your club? We're living in a technological future. How get one of them to talk about the role of technology, and also companies like Google and private sector players. So I'm going to give you 1 minute each, and hopefully one of you will weave that in to your 1 minute. Ladies first. Technology, which is of course.
I think the piece that's really important to come back to is governance and how all of this will be governed. I mean, if you look at the script that's written here, none of it will happen without strong political alliance and will, but also consistency. We have an issue with the short-termism of politics. And this is where, maybe we have something to learn from China. The plan is a long-term plan, and it is consistent, irrespective of the regime that comes into play. I think this needs to be solved in Africa because we have too many distortions and interruptions over time. So this system comes and it changes, and another one is put in. So how do we maintain that long-term vision plan that Dr. Sachs spoke about through the political lives of countries and institutions? So I just wanted to bring in the governance element there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ahuna. Now, NEPAD, 1 minute.
All right, thank you very much. Basically, what's the role of technology? We can utilize, and it's already there, by the way, technology to really increase the access to education, which is already happening today. That's number one, to increase as well financial inclusion, but more importantly, to improve as well the work of the government. Now, those three topics or those three areas being covered is good, but we need as well from our side in Africa to do two things. Number one, really to invest into the question of the data, sovereignty, governance, that one, and that requires as well capabilities. And then on the other side, I think time has come for us as well to invest a little bit more into our own infrastructures in that sense, because you can't speak about sovereignty when all your data, your systems are not actually being owned by yourself. So we are trying at NEPAD to aim to an African stack in the technology, and we are hopeful that we'll get there, especially with our friends from AAMFI and other financial institutions. Thank you.
So in our own institution, I think technology is not a problem. We are ahead, we are comparable to the best in the world, whether it is security, cyber security and other things, AI and everything. Now at macroeconomic level, technology should and will, I hope, help our countries to build platforms from taxation to payment, which are integrated, to insurance and other services, e-government and so on. From there is a possibility to leapfrog, possibility to reduce costs, possibility to have data, evidence, policy, which are based on evidence, and so on. So I think it's a great opportunity, and this will happen for sure. Thank you.
Yes, that's right. Thank you.
George, actually, I had a question for you, really. You didn't mention, I just want you to talk about within your answer, the African infrastructure facility that we just launched. How is it going to move things forward? And also a question, if you had one reform, what would you prioritize in the next 12 months to boost Africa's ability to finance Agenda 2063?
Perhaps strengthen the capital base of African financial institutions. We have to find ways of doing so, but in Afrexim Bank, our own internal thinking tells us that we'll only do it if we begin to invest heavily in the productive sector. We do not want to ask the member states to continue to contribute to that capital. Right now, if we do net income of just over $1 billion, which is what we do, we can easily reinvest 600 to 700 million back into the reserves, and you grow the capital. But for us to get to net incomes of, say, a 1.6, 1.7 billion annually, we have to increase the interventions. And the only areas that would give you that rate of growth is in the productive sector. You take the cotton sector, you process all the fiber. You take the gold sector or the manganese sector. You take the wood sector, you process, you get more. And that helps you to increase your balance sheet as well, because those sectors require big interventions. Big interventions generate more revenue. More revenue leads you with a higher net, and the higher net leaves you with much to reinvest. So if in 10 years you're reinvesting $1 billion every year into your capital, that gives you 10 billion. 10 billion means you can do on a clean basis, you can do maybe 5 times that of loans. And if the loans are collateralized, you may do up to 10 times that, depending on how it is. So the capital base of our institutions is very critical. We have to pay attention to that. If there is one thing that we do give attention to, that's it. But that means you rethink the way you do your business as a whole. Now, technology, we live with it. It's, you just can't avoid it again. It's not the, you saw Samaila, he was operating with an iPhone.
The latest iPhone, actually.
Yes. But maybe I'm trying to reduce it to very simple levels. But how else is a Afrexim Bank going to operate an African payment system, the Pan-African payment system, unless we had invested in the technology? And in that technology, we invested extensively. But the second line was that we found out that the only way to reach our young people, the fastest way, was to meet them where they feel in their comfort zone, which is in the innovative technologies. So that's the area we've gone to meet them, in the innovative technologies and in creatives. For them to do even those creatives, they need the technologies. So we're investing a lot in seeing them produce their own technology platforms and to get us, perhaps not to the levels where the rest of the world is, but to get as close to that as possible. Then the third area in that technology, we then also find out that we have to invest in research. To get our own patented technology, the research must be there to support it. And so we're creating a research not only in that field, but also in the African life sciences area, to which we've already dedicated $75 million to start the research facility. So there is much happening in the technology area, and it's perhaps not spoken of as much as you would have wished to in Google, but there is much happening there. As for AAMFI, the infrastructure facility, I think the initial contribution which we agreed was somewhere around 1.5 billion initial. That's a startup. About 100 million of which is for project preparation. You heard things being said here about project preparation at the start, so I'm not going to go over that again, but we found out in Afrexim a few years ago that if you had a bankable project, you need not finance it. Others would run and take it away from you and do the financing. So that's what we think that infrastructure fund is going to do. And above all, the capacity to mobilize all of us to overwhelm certain things. Now for us, remember AAMFI, we have slightly different mandates. So for us in Afrexim, we're going to think that that infrastructure should go to the infrastructure that supports trade and the processing that we want to do, which is carried by that trade. So porting infrastructure, the railway links to the manufacturing zones, the telecoms, the energy, especially energy. When we try to do industrial zones which call for much money, what we are told by those we invite to invest from abroad is that there isn't enough energy. So we think that's no longer a problem. We create a zone, put all the manufacturers there, and give them the energy there. If they use all of it, fine. If there is something left, we put it into the national grid. And so investment in energy is also very significant. I hope I have responded to the three questions.
Thoroughly. Now you're talking about the power of pooling, co-financing and co-guarantee structures, having members going in the same direction, working together to have more skin in the game, as they call it. Your last speaker to have the last word for a minute. I want to ask the Badia President, Your Excellency, as you look across this landscape, where do you see the greatest opportunities between Badia and AAMFI members for co-financing and such of pooling resources so that we can fast track all these investments we need for Agenda 2063?
Thank you. As you know, we have a 5-year plan working on it. Our latest 5-year plan, it is an ambition plan. Our board of directors approved to Badia 18 billion for the next 5 years just to invest in Africa. And it's not easy to spend in the proper way. So here comes our colleagues to work with them to finance with them projects, and for that reason also to de-risk the project to bring other investors. And our role now is working with AAMFI. We already work with them, but we need to do more, and we will. Thank you.
Inshallah, thank you very much.
Thanks.
If I could ask all of you to...
We would be asking Badea to give us the 5 billion they have, and we promise that we disburse all of it in 6 months.
Did I just see a deal? I think we just witnessed a deal. Can I ask you all to stand, please? Can I ask you to applause based on how much you enjoyed that conversation? Wonderful. We have but one more and very important thing to do. So stay on your seats, because I'm going to invite my colleagues to bring that table back for the second ceremony, basically, that will conclude what's been a great morning. And that is the ceremony for the deposit of the instruments of ratification of the protocol and statutes of the African Monetary Fund by the Republic of Cameroon. And right next to Cameroon is my country, Nigeria, and from the Office of the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, I know our brother, Dr. Kingsley Uzoma, Senior Special Assistant to the President, Agribusiness and Productivity Enhancement, is representing His Excellency, the VP, in the room. You're very welcome. Now, as I ask you to bring the, where are my colleagues? Babajide, please, we need there's no table for this, right? Okay, so this makes things easy. Now, as I ask my brothers and sisters to please exit, you can exit over there, stage left, right, over there, yes. Thank you. Please take your seats, because to top off a great morning, we now mark another important step in the AU financial institutions journey. Cameroon's ratification of key African Union financial instruments. So I'm going to invite the representatives of the Republic of Cameroon and the African Union to proceed with this very brief 5-minute ceremony. Representing His Excellency Joseph Dion Ngute, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Cameroon, please welcome His Excellency Churchill Ewumbu Monono. Churchill Ewumbu Monono, who's the Ambassador of Cameroon to Ethiopia. Ambassador, where are you? Here he comes. And joining him for the African Union, we're going to welcome Professor Hajer Guldish, who's the legal counsel of the African Union. Give Professor Guldish a round of applause as well. So for this, if you could come this way. Oh, to assist him, okay. Oh, there you are. Okay, excellent. So so this is a short handover moment. The act is really, it adds real political and legal weight to the efforts to bring the AU financial institutions from vision to reality, and underlines why AAMFI, as a supportive collective, is so timely and so important. So, ladies and gentlemen, please witness the ceremony for the deposit of the instruments of ratification of the protocol and statutes of the African Monetary Fund by the Republic of Cameroon. Please go ahead. Another building block for African Union financial institutions has been put in place, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much. As I ask you to please exit the stage. That's it. All I have to say is, as we move now to the closing, a few threads that stood out. First, we recognize that African multilateral institutions through AAMFI are not just lenders, they're strategic alliances for defending and advancing Africans' interests. So on that note, I'd like to invite, just to wrap things up with a red bow. Oh, you have a statement, a 2-minute statement. I didn't know that, but fair enough. Please go ahead. You can make it, please. I don't want to deprive you if it's short. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, Your Excellency, John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, AU Champion for Financial Institutions, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government here present, Your Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, the Chairperson of the AU Commission, Your Excellency Francis Belobe, Commissioner for Economic Development, Trade, Tourism, International, mineral resources. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is for my country, Cameroon, a very solemn moment marked by high symbolism because the depositing of the instruments of ratification that we have just done crowns a series of initiatives undertaken by the government of the Republic of Cameroon on the high instructions of His Excellency, the Head of State, Paul Biya, towards the continental financial architecture. It is important to recall that since 2018, Cameroon and the AU Commission had signed the host agreement of the AMF 4 years after its establishment in 2014, making Cameroon officially the headquarters of the African Union's financial institution. On the 19th of December 2023, the Parliament voted Law number 2023/013, authorizing the President of the Republic to ratify the protocol on the African Monetary Fund. This was followed on the 8th of April 2024 with the revision and approval of the text by the President of the Republic, and on 9th of January 2025, the instruments of ratification were transmitted to our permanent representation to the AU for solemn depositing, which has permitted us to have this beautiful ceremony today. I will therefore, Excellencies, like to use this opportunity to send a clear message to member states that are still hesitating, that Cameroon is resolutely committed to the logical operationalization of the African Monetary Fund. Moreover, Cameroon is examining attentively the text of the other financial institutions engraved in the Constitutive Act of the African Union. We therefore pledge to work closely with and support the AU champion on financial institutions, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, as well as AAMFI. It is my hope that the example of Cameroon today will have a domino effect that will permit the functioning of these financial institutions, which are very important and indispensable pillars to our union. I thank you for your kind attention. I think it was very short.
Very short, but very, very punchy. Thank you very much, and congratulations on that ceremony. That was an important milestone. All I have left for you is to invite the Acting Secretary, Executive Secretary of AAMFI, to present the wrap-up and next steps. He and his team have been, these things are not easy to put together. There's a lot of logistics. So you have to give him a warm round of applause, not just for him, but for his team for today. Mr. Babajide Sodipo.
Thank you very much. I will be very, very quick. Excellencies, distinguished guests. First of all, thank you for your participation. Thank you very much for your participation. It's been a little bit of a turbulent morning, but I think we've pulled together a very successful program, and we are extremely grateful because you've given us your time, your attention, your energy, and your focus. So we look forward to continuing that partnership. I must say, of course, that the launch of the African Infrastructure Financing Facility with its initial envelope of about $1.5 billion. It marks an important step forward from commitment to action and from ambition to implementation. Our focus now shifts to delivery. AAMFI, working with NEPAD and our partners, we will move swiftly to operationalize the facility, and we will have relevant announcements in that regard. So once again, thank you for your time, commitment, and leadership, and we look forward to continue working with you. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of breakfast if you still have time. Thank you.
Egyptians. We are taking bold and deliberate steps to strengthen our financial independence, safeguard our stability, and accelerate our development. Kenya, for instance, fully endorses the establishment of the Alliance of African Multilateral Financial Institutions, launched with the African Union in February 2024. This alliance brings together our homegrown banks, institutions that embody Africa's determination to mobilize resources, finance trade, and build resilience on our own terms.
Now is the time to come together to make the international financial system fit for purpose. This is a matter of real substance for Africa's future.
The establishment of the Alliance of African Multilateral Financial Institutions, AAMFI for short, also known as the Africa Club, exemplifies our commitment